today's video, we're talking about whether car insurance actually covers rental cars and why so many people actually get this wrong until they're standing at the rental counter being asked if they want extra protection. What's up, you guys? My name's Ashley, and this is one of the most confusing insurance situations because there are multiple layers of coverage involved. Different policies handle rentals differently, and most people are not completely sure what they're already protected for before traveling. A lot of drivers either automatically decline all rental coverage because they assume their personal insurance handles everything, or they panic and buy every protection package being offered because they're scared of getting stuck with a huge bill later. Neither approach is always correct because whether your insurance covers rental cars depends on several things, including the type of coverage you already carry, the reason you're renting the vehicle, the country you're driving in, the credit card benefits, and the rental company's policies. That's why in this video, I want to break down when your car insurance does cover rental cars, when it usually does not, what the rental company is actually trying to sell you, and how to figure out whether you already have enough protection before paying for extra coverage. Let's get into it. So first off, rental car coverage refers to the insurance protection that may apply when you temporarily drive a rental vehicle instead of your own personal car. A lot of people assume rental car companies automatically include full protection in the rental price, but that's usually not how it works. Most rental companies offer additional insurance products separately at the counter, which is why customers suddenly get presented with multiple optional protections during pickup. The confusing part is that your existing personal car insurance may already extend to rental vehicles in certain situations. For many drivers, collision and comprehensive coverage from their personal auto policy can temporarily transfer to rental cars used for personal driving inside the US. Liability coverage may also extend depending on the policy structure. That's why understanding your policy matters so much more instead of assuming all rental situations are automatically covered the same way. So first off, your car insurance may extend to rental cars. One of the biggest things people misunderstand is that personal car insurance often does extend to rental vehicles for temporary personal use. If you already carry collision and comprehensive coverage on your own car, there's a good chance similar protection may temporarily apply to rental vehicles as well. That means if the rental vehicle gets damaged in a covered accident, your personal insurance may help pay for repairs after your deductible. Liability coverage may also extend, which helps protect you financially if you injure someone else or damage property while driving the rental car. But again, it's not something you should blindly assume without checking your actual policy details first. Not every policy handles rentals exactly the same way. I know I'm repeating myself, but I really want to make sure that you understand that. Another thing people can misunderstand at rental counters, rental companies usually offer something called a collision damage waiver or loss damage waiver. This is not technically traditional insurance in the same way that your auto policy works. Instead, it's essentially an agreement where the rental company agrees not to pursue you financially for certain covered damage to the rental vehicle. And that's why rental coverage can become expensive very quickly. Rental companies make a significant amount of money from these add-ons, and that does not automatically mean that they are scams or unnecessary. In some situations, they absolutely provide valuable protection. Another major layer people can forget about is credit card protection. Some credit cards include rental car coverage benefits if you pay for the rental using the card. This is where things become extremely confusing because credit card coverage varies dramatically depending on the card issuer and benefit structure. Some cards offer secondary coverage, meaning they help after your personal insurance gets involved first. Other premium cards may offer primary coverage, meaning the card benefits apply before your personal auto insurance. Again, never assume credit card coverage is automatically enough without reviewing the actual benefit details carefully, because there are often restrictions involving rental length, vehicle types, countries, luxury vehicles, business use, and documentation requirements. That's why understanding all layers of protection matter before declining rental company coverage confidently. Now we're going to dive into international rentals. Many personal auto insurance policies do not extend internationally the same way they do inside the US. That means somebody may be fully protected domestically but suddenly have very limited coverage overseas depending on the country. Rental companies in international destinations often structure protection requirements very differently too. That's why international rentals should always be reviewed more carefully before traveling, because assuming your domestic policy automatically follows you internationally can create very expensive problems later on. Another thing many drivers overlook is that insurance limitations often apply to certain vehicle types. Luxury cars, exotic vehicles, large vans, trucks, performance vehicles, and specialty rentals may fall outside standard personal policy protections or credit card benefits. Many people never actually realize this because they assume a rental car is a rental car, but coverage limitations can absolutely exist depending on the vehicle category. Another common confusion is mixing up rental reimbursement coverage with rental car damage protection. Rental reimbursement coverage helps pay for for a temporary rental car if your own vehicle is being repaired after a covered claim. This is completely different than protection for damage caused while driving a rental vehicle yourself. Many drivers assume that they're the same thing, but they're actually separate parts of insurance coverage entirely. That's why insurance terminology becomes so confusing for people sometimes. Another thing drivers often forget is that even if their personal insurance extends to rental vehicles, their normal deductible usually still applies. That means if the rental car gets damaged and your personal policy handles the claim, you may still need to pay your deductible out of pocket before insurance covers the remaining approved costs. This is another reason some people still choose rental company protection despite already having personal insurance, because certain rental waivers may reduce or eliminate out-of-pocket deductibles entirely depending on the agreement. I know rental counters can feel so high pressure. You're usually traveling, tired, rushed, and suddenly being asked complicated insurance questions. Many people simply buy the extra protection because they're scared of making the wrong choice. That's why, again, understanding your coverage before traveling matters so much, because making a calmer decision ahead of time usually leads to much smarter financial choices overall. What I would highly recommend doing is, if you travel a lot and don't have coverage for rental cars, you can go ahead and compare different car insurance options. If you want to get quotes from a bunch just to see and compare, we do have an exclusive link down in the description below. All you have to do is enter in your zip code, how many cars are on the policy, how old you are, if you're currently insured, any at-fault accidents in the last 3 years, if you own your home, and then if you or a family member have served in the US military. Go ahead and fill that out. It takes about 10 seconds, and then you can get a bunch of different options. If you rent vehicles occasionally, reviewing your personal insurance policy before traveling makes so much sense. Some drivers already have enough protection and don't need every rental company add-on being offered, but honestly, every situation is different depending on your coverage, vehicle type, destination, financial situation, and comfort level with risk. The smartest approach is understanding your protection before you travel instead of making a rushed decision at the rental counter, because good insurance decisions are usually made calmly and strategically, not under pressure, which is why if you don't have the coverage that you desire, make sure you go ahead and compare a bunch of different options by using our link down below. I know rental car insurance can feel confusing because there are multiple layers of coverage involved, and every company explains things a little bit differently. But once you understand how personal insurance, rental company waivers, and credit card protections work together, it becomes so much easier to decide what coverage you actually need. Again, if you want to compare those rates and explore different coverage options, we do have a link down below. This channel is dedicated to helping you make informed insurance decisions so you can protect your home, your car, and your finances. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave any comments or questions below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.